Hey, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome. My name is Chris Lee Mentor, and it is my honor and privilege to be in service to you today. I really urge you to take notes on the information that I'm about to share because most likely it's going to save your life. I also recommend that you do your own research on the information that I'm going to provide to you and see how it applies specifically to you. Okay. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the number two health condition that is impacting society today. And if you look in the description of the video below, you're going to see a link for a PDF that is available for download. Okay. I recommend that you put your name and email in there and download that PDF so you can see what I'm talking to you about. In there, I discuss in depth exactly what's happening inside of you around four major conditions that are happening right now inside of you that are crippling and damaging your organs. Okay. I call them the big four: diabetes, cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, and liver disease. And you probably don't even realize or understand the damage they're causing inside of you and the side effects that's going to happen to you over time if you do not address those conditions. Okay, so I urge you, look in the video description. You're going to see a link for a PDF that's available. Put your name and email in there and get the information so you can start working on reversing the symptoms and effects of those conditions. Okay, I speak to you from the experience of working over 5.5 years in ICU hospitals with very critically ill people, and I just could not understand why they got there and what was happening. Okay, and the more I looked and researched and studied and realized that why is it that these people cannot respond to the medical care they were getting, what I realized was that they had underlying conditions that damaged their major organs to the point of no return. And no matter how much medical help that they received, they were most likely going to have really bad outcomes. And that thought scared me because I was on the path of becoming one of those people if I did not do things specifically to prevent my body from deteriorating over time. So I studied and researched and learned that if I get on a path of eating raw living foods, that I was going to start helping my body perform the way it's supposed to. Okay, the human biology is designed to follow a specific diet and mindset around health that is fully encouraged and supported by raw vegan lifestyle. Okay, so I learned how to properly eat raw fruits and vegetables, raw nuts and seeds, and I just could not believe the benefits that I started seeing in my own body the more I experimented with it. And as I learned more, I started helping and coaching people through the process of how they can do the same thing, and they're having incredible results. So my video message today is based on the concept of how I can help you with your future endeavors of reclaiming your health and vitality. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you today about the number two health condition that is impacting society today. So here we go. Okay, my number one point: what do you think that condition is? Cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is a condition where damage is being done or has happened to your heart and the blood vessels throughout your whole body. Okay, that damage causes certain symptoms that we know are examples of cardiovascular disease. Things like high blood pressure, heart attacks, irregular heartbeats, heart palpitations, heart failure, strokes are all common symptoms of cardiovascular disease. But there are other symptoms that are cardiovascular disease related symptoms that we don't think about. Okay, things like fluid retention, throbbing pain in different parts of the body. Okay, poor vision and eyesight loss. Okay, there's many other conditions, but those are the ones that stood out to me the most. And as cardiovascular disease develops over time, it starts impacting the vagus nerve and preventing it from getting your body out of fight or flight mode. Okay, and what happens is as your heart rate increases over time, as you have more heart palpitations, as you have more irregular heartbeats, it disconnects the vagus nerve from the function that it's supposed to have of telling your body to calm down and that the situation is safe. Okay, as the cardiovascular disease advances, it deteriorates even further how the vagus nerve is supposed to function. Today, cardiovascular disease is deemed to be the number one condition that leads to death in the world. Okay, so cardiovascular disease is a condition that damages your heart and the blood vessels And clearly, it has many symptoms that are destroying society today. Okay. Number two, why is it that there's a rise in cardiovascular disease numbers today? And I believe that there are two major conditions that's causing that. The number one condition, lifestyle. Okay. Lifestyle where people are not eating the right diet and they're not exercising enough. Okay. There is no such thing in no world where you can eat the bad food in moderation. Okay. No matter how or who's telling you to do this, it's not working for you and it's going to hurt your body. Okay. I don't care. Even if you're physically fit, if you're eating the wrong food, it's going to hurt your body and you're going to develop cardiovascular disease. So if you're eating a diet that is high in animal protein, fat, overly processed foods, overly processed carbs like bread, pasta, okay, all those things are going to cause damage, and over time you're going to develop cardiovascular disease. Okay, as your body as the conditions worsen, what's going to happen is there's going to be too much sugar and too much fat in your bloodstream. Does that sound familiar? That sounds like diabetes, right? So one of the underlying conditions that leads to cardiovascular disease is diabetes, which is directly connected to your poor diet and lack of activity. What happens is fat deposits in the blood vessels and that damages them over time, okay? And that can cause you to have like high blood pressure or high cholesterol deposits in your blood vessels. That can lead to things like atherosclerosis or damage in your veins, which then leads to conditions like varicose veins throughout your body, okay? I also believe that these conditions of high sugar and high fat in your blood also damages the electrical pathways that exist in not only in your heart but in the rest of your body. Okay, so I think a lot of people are suffering from conditions today of that seem like neurological symptoms, but that are linked directly to cardiovascular disease, because the heart is literally the largest power plant in your body. It even has more electrical activity than your brain, and that electrical activity is directly attached to your nervous system and how the nervous system functions. Okay, so some people who are suffering from things like anxiety and panic attacks and other things that may seem to be neurological conditions are most likely suffering from cardiovascular disease. Okay, the number two reason why cardiovascular disease numbers are on the rise, I believe, is congenital birth defects. Okay, and where that stems from is there are unfortunately too many mothers who are either diabetic before they get pregnant or become diabetic during pregnancies. So if you can imagine what diabetes does to an adult's cardiovascular system, right, where the blood sugar and the blood fat damages the veins, the heart, the arteries, guess what's happening? The same thing is happening to the fetus as it starts developing. And because the blood sugar in the mother and the blood fat in the mother is too high over a period of time, it starts transferring the same symptoms to the fetus that's developing. So you see a lot of babies today being born, unfortunately, with like holes in their heart or poor cardiovascular system development as they go through the age. So I hope and pray that they get caught early enough to start addressing them. But I think also that there are people who may not show the symptoms early enough in life. They may be in their adulthood and now they're showing cardiovascular symptoms that are linked back to when they were developing in the mother's womb as a fetus. Okay, so today's society, sustained levels of high sugar and fat in the blood is the number one reason why cardiovascular disease is on the rise, and we're seeing all those issues that we see today. Okay, so number three, can you fix it? Yes, I believe you can fix it, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take consistency, and it's going to take patience. Okay, and from my own studies and research and my personal experience, the best way to do that is by consuming and switching to a lifestyle based on raw living foods, where you're going to start eating, possibly for the rest of your life, minimally processed raw fruits, raw vegetables, and raw nuts and seeds. And how does that actually help the body as far as cardiovascular disease? What happens is as you start changing over to this lifestyle, your blood sugar levels and your blood fat levels start decreasing. and that prevents damage from happening to your heart and the blood vessels. Okay, as the body detoxes and eliminates the way it's supposed to, waste, toxins, and parasites prevent those conditions from getting worse over time. Okay, so the more your body eliminates, the more the body detoxes, the cleaner it keeps your cardiovascular system and prevents the toxicity that sugar and fat causes to the blood from happening. As that happens over time, as you keep your sugar elevated and your fat elevated in the blood, it damages three major organs that their job specifically is to clean your blood. Okay, so your kidneys, your liver, and your spleen are supposed to keep your blood clean. But if you have too much sugar in your blood, if you have too much fat in your blood, it damages those organs and prevents them from doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, so your job and responsibility is to support the body's elimination and detox process to keep those organs clean and functioning properly, so you don't have or develop cardiovascular disease. And in another video, I'm going to go more in depth of how, if you really want to keep your cardiovascular system functioning the way it's supposed to, you have to focus on the detox and elimination pathways working the way they're supposed to. Okay, the more I studied and researched and I asked people questions, I started realizing that they literally do not know what they're supposed to be eating or doing to keep themselves safe. So I continued studying and researching, and to help people, what I did was I created the membership in a community where I focus on helping people one-on-one to help themselves recover from these conditions and decrease the chances of developing chronic conditions of cardiovascular disease. And I take this very seriously because I do believe in serving people, which is the number one reason why I went to work in the hospital, was to serve people. And in that community now, I coach people through the process of how they can start reclaiming their health and vitality. And to help you with the same process, I'm going to go outline what I offer in that membership, because besides downloading the PDF like I recommended earlier to get things going, besides watching my videos here on YouTube, I recommend that you join this membership so you can get direct access to me and how I can help you and support you through the process. Okay, so in the membership I created for people, I really worked hard on this. It is a place that is safe, where you feel seen and you'll be heard. Okay, I want you to feel acknowledged, and I want you to know that someone is here to support you, and that is a community of people who are on the same path as you. So if you're looking for a place to be seen, to feel safe, and to be heard, I got you. In there, I'm going to coach you about how to really empower your mind. Okay, because to really reclaim your health, it's not just a diet thing. Okay, it's really a mindset thing first that then causes you to want to reclaim your health and vitality. Okay, so if you want to learn how to empower yourself, how to develop the right mindset, I got you. It's going to be a place where you're going to learn how to break your bad habits and behaviors that causes default patterns. Okay, default patterns is things that you go back to no matter how hard you try, you just can't shake them off. Okay, so if you want to learn how to break your default patterns, I got you. I'm going to coach you exactly how to regenerate yourself out of the big four, okay? Because right now, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, and liver disease are destroying your organs. I'm going to go through exact protocols and exact steps with you of how you can regenerate yourself out of those conditions and the underlying conditions that's really causing them, okay? So if you want to learn how to regenerate yourself out of the big four, I got you. In there, I'm going to do live streams for you to answer your Q&As. I answer members' Q&As on specific questions that they may have about how they can heal themselves, how they can reclaim their vitality, how they can develop the right mindset. And also there's going to be recording of past Q&As that you'll have access to. So if you're looking for additional information and direct one-on-one coaching, I got you. I also have private Zoom and private Facebook group meetings where I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to go through the process. I'm going to guide you on a one-on-one or a group level so you can really see that. So if you want access to a private Facebook group and private Zoom meetings, I got you. In there, you're going to find also a library that I created on a mobile app where I have outlined protocols, videos, and special trainings on things that you need to do to learn to understand how you can reclaim your health and vitality. So if you're looking for that library of information, I got you. You're going to get access to special trainings, accountability, access to me, access to protocols, access to how to develop the right mindset. So all that information, if you want access to those things, I got you. And to help people out, I designed two types of coaching specifically, where you can get one-on-one coaching or you can get group coaching in small group settings of people who are on similar paths as you. Okay, so if you want to get coaching one-on-one with me, either in a group setting or one-on-one, I got you. Okay, so I hope that this information serves you, and it is my honor and privilege to be in service to you. Okay, so I'm going to go over and I'm going to recap what I talked to you about in the video to help you understand what is happening within your body that you have to start addressing today. Okay, so the video today was what is the number 2 health condition that is impacting society today. And in my opinion, it is cardiovascular disease. Okay, so cardiovascular disease is a condition where damage is caused to the heart and to the blood vessels, okay? And that can cause many conditions, many symptoms that are connected to cardiovascular disease, like high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, and other symptoms that we don't even think about, like eyesight loss, that is directly connected to cardiovascular disease, okay? And how that malfunction can actually go even further and start impacting and affecting your neurological system, because the heart is the power plant of the body, okay? Number 2, the conditions that are causing the increase that we see in cardiovascular disease. I believe there's 2 major conditions that's causing that. Okay, the one that we know clearly of is lifestyle. Okay, people are eating the wrong diet and they're not exercising enough. And the reason when what that causes, it causes your blood sugar and your blood fat to stay elevated too long, and that causes damage. Pretty much, you develop diabetes, and diabetes is causing you to have cardiovascular disease. So if you learn how to prevent fat and sugar from staying in your blood too long, from cholesterol from building up in your arteries and your veins, over time, you can recover yourself from cardiovascular disease, okay? And what that does also is that it damages the electrical pathway in your heart, which causes heart palpitations, irregular heartbeats, and that also causes things like anxiety and panic attacks, which we often don't think are cardiovascular disease, but most likely they're connected to that, okay? And the number 2 condition that causes such an increase in cardiovascular disease, I believe, is congenital birth defects, okay? Because the mother either is diabetic before or during pregnancy. That diabetes damages the cardiovascular system of the fetus developing in the womb, just as it would to the mother. Okay, so that sustained blood sugar level, that sustained fat level damages the baby's cardiovascular system as it develops. Okay, and that's why we see kids being born with holes in their heart. Okay, damaged arteries where the artery and the veins are swapped on the heart. Okay, those are major conditions that are very deadly. And if they're caught early enough, hopefully they can be addressed. But I think also that there are people who are in later years suffering from cardiovascular disease that they developed as a fetus. Okay, today in our society, diabetes is the number 1 condition that's causing cardiovascular disease. And can you fix this? Yes, I believe that you can, and that if you work really hard and that you're patient and you give yourself time, you can. And you do that by eating raw living foods, okay? By eating minimally processed raw vegetables, raw fruits, and raw nuts and seeds. You prevent sugars from staying too high in your blood. You prevent fat from getting too high in your blood and causing toxicity, which is what really causes the damage, okay? As the waste and the toxin builds up in your blood, it damages major organs that are supposed to be sustaining your health in your body, okay? So it damages the kidneys, it damages the liver, it damages the spleen, specifically because those 3 organs are organs that detoxes the blood, okay? So if your blood is that toxic, it's going to start damaging those organs, and over time that's going to cause you to have cardiovascular disease, okay? Like you're going to have heart failure over time if you don't address it. You're going to have atherosclerosis, which is when the arteries in the heart and other parts of your body become hardened over time because of deposits that happens in there, okay? You're also going to develop varicose veins, which does not only happen in your legs, okay? I wish people understood that it happens also in other parts of your body. We just happen to see it in your legs. But what varicose vein is when the valves of the vein become damaged over time, and it literally deforms the veins and causes issues. And that those issues often lead to needing surgery, and some people even need to have like their legs amputated from that process. Okay, so I hope this information helps you. Okay, and the key to eating raw vegan, to eating raw living foods, is that it helps your body detox and eliminate properly, and prevents sugar from building up in your bloodstream. It prevents fat from building up in your bloodstream, and prevents damages from happening that's going to damage your heart and your cardiovascular health in your blood vessels. Okay, I hope this information serves you. It is my honor and privilege to be in service to you. So like I said, I urge you to look in the video description. You're going to see a PDF in there. Put your name and email, download the PDF so you can start reclaiming your health and vitality today. I'll welcome you back to my YouTube channel so you can see more videos on topics like this one. And I urge you to be a part of our membership, where I'm going to work with you one-on-one to help you through the process of reclaiming your health. I'm grateful that I get to spend some time with you. Thank you for being here with me, and I love you.